please welcome to the stage your host for this afternoon, Iran.
Oh, hello everyone. Hello and welcome to our 6th Google for Startup Accelerator Canada Demo Day. We're so excited to have you all here, the folks in the room and the folks joining virtually. Thank you all so much for joining us. My name is Iran Karimian and I'm the lead of our Americas, that's not right. I'm the head of our startup and accelerator ecosystem here in Canada. First off, happy Toronto Tech Week. How's the week going? We are so appreciative that you've all joined us on your Thursday afternoon. I know we're nearing the end of a very busy week, so thanks for spending your time with us. It's so fantastic to see so many new and familiar faces joining us to cheer on our 14 companies in our 2025 cohort. So we are live in Toronto. We're here in our Toronto Google office, and we have a full house here and are expecting about 1,000 people to join us virtually as well. So hello to the virtual folks. So first, I'd love to start with a land acknowledgement. Google Canada is situated upon ancestral lands. Across this country, known as Canada, and across all of Turtle Island, there are many Indigenous peoples, nations, and lands that have been affected by colonization. Taking the opportunity to acknowledge the original stewards of these lands is an important way to work towards reconciliation. So at Google, we have the great pleasure of supporting the startup ecosystem through our Google for Startup Accelerator programs. These are 10-week equity-free programs for technology startups building with AI and machine learning, and we offer them all around the world. Since 2016, we have graduated over 1,700 startups. They've gone on to employ 115,000 people globally, thank you, and have had a total evaluation of $121 billion USD, which is just incredible. In Canada, we are also investing in founders through our accelerator programs, and we do this so they can grow, scale, and be successful globally. We started our programs here in 2020, have gone on to graduate at 120 incredible companies who have collectively raised $480 million Canadian and contributed to the creation of 1,100 new jobs. And we're working with 18 fantastic Canadian companies across our 3 live cohorts right now, and I'm really excited to add their stats to this slide after their graduation. So it goes without saying that Google believes in supporting the ecosystem here, and we believe in helping the next generations of companies grow. It's been something that we've supported through the last few years through our offices and the programs that we run in Waterloo, in Montreal, and Toronto. But what I love about this program is we get to work with founders all across the country. And to our alumni, some of them are in this room. Their traction, accomplishments, and impact just continue to inspire us. So congratulations and keep building. So we are here today to celebrate the 14 Canadian startups in our 2025 cohort. Let's give them a shout out. Love the energy. This year's cohort truly reflects Canada's vibrant innovation ecosystem with startups from Vancouver, Saskatoon, Kitchener-Waterloo, Toronto, and for the first time, 5 from Montreal. These 14 companies are leveraging Google's AI tools to tackle challenges in their respective industries. We have healthcare, energy, finance, and a lot more. It's been busy, and I'm sure they'd say super intense, 10 weeks journey for their teams. And they've worked through all sorts of technical and complex projects related to AI, machine learning, product design, people and leadership, and so much more. We keep them very busy with us. So for those of you that are in the room, we have left a double-sided lookbook on each of your seats where you can learn more about each of the presenting companies. And for those of you who are joining us virtually, you can scan the QR code on the screen to learn a little bit more. Okay, so demo day. How does this all work? Each team will have two 2.5 minutes to present, followed by 1 minute to answer a question from the audience, which was pre-submitted by all of you. And at the midway point, we'll welcome some special guests, Natasha Walji and Craig Oliva, who are Google Toronto's co-site leads, to hear their thoughts on the latest in AI revolution. They'll be chatting about Toronto's differentiator and what Google is doing to support startups and small businesses across the country. My great colleague, Naveen, will be moderating that discussion. All right, so who's ready to get started? Amazing. So first up, it's my pleasure to introduce Terry, one of the co-founders of Haply. I love what their team is building. I'll introduce Terry to the stage to share more. Come on out.
Raise your hand if you think entrepreneurs need money to grow. Right? Of course they do. Now let me tell you something. Did you know that 97% of entrepreneurs do not start or scale their businesses using non-dilutive funding specifically made for that purpose? But can we blame them? Have you ever tried navigating a government website once in your life? I don't know about you, but last time I tried, this is how I felt, like a sitting duck in a bad Squid Game episode. But that's just the tip of the problem, because the system is broken. And here's why. On one side, you have the demand. People wanting to access non-dilutive funding. And on the other side, you got the supply. They're trying to unlock trillions of dollars from the private and public sectors to help them scale. But ask yourself this question. Who's bridging the gap between both? Right? You have people looking for money and money looking for people. Right? One side doesn't know how to apply or where to find the funding, while the other side is bottlenecked by legit problems with their application processing because they're doing it manually. And more importantly, they're slow to adopt smart technology. Now, my name's Thierry Lindor. I'm the co-founder of Haply AI, and here's how we save the day. We create an award-winning platform on the demand side first that helps you match, apply, and qualify for funding based on your unique profile. BetaKit actually called us an economic Tinder for innovators. And guess what? You laugh, but we agree. Except we don't match you with potential stalkers. We match you with potential dollars. Now, here's how it works. First, you create your profile. Second, we match you with opportunities instantly. And third, you watch our patent-pending one-click apply, auto-populate any application processes instantly. And then, thanks to Google, we created a Chrome extension that is called GrantGPT, kind of like a Grammarly, but instead of correcting for grammar mistakes, it corrects and anticipates grant writing as well as procurement mistakes. And last but not least, we make sure you stay cash flow positive by lending you the necessary capital between the time you get your email confirmation and the funds land into your account. Now, traction's been phenomenal. We have 84,000 people on the platform right now with 78,000 MRR. And we're proud to say that we're going to close this year at $2 million. And we only have one salesperson. I'll let you know who that is. Now, we landed $90 million for our clients. They landed it by themselves using our intuitive tools, and that has helped them create 2,000 jobs in the communities that they serve. Community like community builder Tiffany. Meet her. She's actually a game changer using our funding platform to help her distribute $160 million of her lending program. How is she doing this? She's leveraging our funding platform like a GPS, helping her navigate intuitively through application process, while more importantly, matching capital with precision and de-risking every single file with non-dilutive funding, such as grants and tax credits. We're B2B and B2G SaaS. Fairly simple. We're currently in one market, 15 full-time employees, and we are completely bootstrapped. But here's the good news for all the investors in the room. We're doing our first round. And with a little bit of your fuel on our fire, we're going to be able to penetrate 2 new markets by blitz scaling. And speaking of market, one of them is strategically the United States of America. Absolutely. We've won awards globally and have amazing B2B and B2G partnerships. But one of our biggest strategic one has been with the US State Department, and Ambassador Cohen had this to say at his residence after we won first place at his media press release. Haply is harnessing artificial intelligence to democratize access to economic opportunities and empower innovation across sectors. This technology helps US farmers, business owners, universities, nonprofit, and even artists access necessary fundings to scale their vision. Now that's a mission my team and America should proudly stand behind. And speaking of team, see these beautiful people on the screen? Those are my co-founders, Sean and Dinesh. And you know what? They're the great minds behind EDM.com, which they scaled to 19 million users with 10 billion plays. And myself, I've had the honor of representing Canada at the United Nations as well as the G20. And I'm very proud to have raised $265 million to help scale businesses in Canada with the Trudeau administration. Now let's be clear here in closing. We are not solving climate change, let alone curing cancer. That is not what Happily does. But it will be a fintech platform to help the change makers that have the ideas that impact your society. And at the end of the day, we fundamentally believe at Happily that great ideas and all the innovators you're going to see on this stage today should never have to chase money, but instead, money should chase them. Thank you very much.
I mean, talk about energy. Thank you so much for kicking us off. All right, so a question from the audience now. What makes Happily AI different from other funding platforms? What's your competitive advantage? And can you expand on the data-driven lending part of your business model?
Yeah, thank you so much for that question, Yaron. So most of the industry is actually focused on service. The industry of non-dilutive funding on the demand side specifically takes a percentage of what they lend you. We don't believe in service, we're SaaS. We're SaaS over service all day. And more importantly, we're the only tech company that leverages AI to actually own both sides of the market. And that's not by luck, that's actually by design. We fundamentally believe that if Google democratized access to information, as well as knowledge, we could democratize access to funding, and that helps us collect data to predict when is your next CAN export gonna come in. I'm pretty sure a lot of people had some bad things with CAN export. We can predict it and make sure that we bridge loan you the difference until you're able to land and do what you're supposed to do. In a world where AI applies, AI should review, so we get the best ROI for our tax-paying dollars for impact on our society. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Amazing. All right, so up next, I'd like to introduce Albert Mansour, co-founder and CEO of Cone Labs. Albert, please join us on stage.
Good afternoon. I'm Albert Mansour, CEO and co-founder of Cone Labs, and I'm here to tell you about a massive opportunity to improve the safety of society by improving how we inspect critical infrastructure. Think about the buildings we occupy, bridges we use, the Gardner Expressway, which a lot of us may have used to be here today. Each one of these structures needs to be inspected regularly, but the problem is we can't keep up. And the consequences is what keeps me up at night. Critical infrastructure today is crumbling. Focusing on our beachhead bridges, there are over 623,000 bridges in the United States, but inspection is hard, it's expensive, and unsafe. So fewer bridges get the attention they need, and unfortunately the result is in higher maintenance costs and structural failure. The pictures in the background are a glimpse into how bridges are inspected today. I've lived this, and I've been in this industry for over 20 years, and I've come to realize that not all bridges or not all structures are effectively inspected. There are costs and other considerations like disrupting lanes that impact our ability to inspect, and the result is we don't inspect as comprehensively or as frequently as we should. We have the answer. Our solution keeps workers on the ground, improving safety rates by 100%. What you're looking at is a model created from 2D imagery captured by drone, digital SLR, or even your Google Pixel. These come together in our platform to create a hyper-photorealistic, high-resolution model that can detect sub-millimeter defects. This is a game changer never before seen in our industry. The bridge inspection market, today it's $5.6 billion and continually growing, while we have fewer individuals entering the inspection market. Drone-based inspection is expected to grow by 200%, and firms like COE, HNTB, and Consor are seeking safer, efficient, and data-rich ways to interpret that data. Once we tackle the drone inspection market, and with our new lowered inspection costs, the built world is massive, and there's another $70 billion worth of opportunity out there. We won't just stop at bridges, we'll do buildings and other large physical assets. There are not enough resources to address this market without technology. I'm a ring-wearing civil engineer, and we know why we wear our rings. Our team of world-leading researchers and experience in computer and AI engineering has been together for just under 2 years, but cumulatively we have dozens of years of experience. We know our beachhead. We've built our sales laser, and on the momentum of $400,000 with less than 1 sales FTE, we are raising to propel our momentum forward. Our why at Cone Labs is to never see a structure fail again. Join us on our mission to decrease the cost of operating critical infrastructure, improve margins, and allow our customers to do more work, but most importantly, to keep people safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. And now for a question from the audience. So it seems like a few companies are trying to solve the same problem. What's so different about Cone Labs?
Yeah, thank you. So there are some companies out there that are building something similar. I would say our differentiators are 3. Number 1 is our moat. For the first year, we collected analyzed data. What we trained our AI on is not publicly available. So we built our moat through interactions and relationships with our customers. 2 is the workflow by Cone Labs. So reconstruction engine, our viewer, our AI, and our reporting tool is built in-house. This is critical and allows us to optimize and accept and prioritize feedback from our customers. And finally, we're focused on a channel strategy where we will build partnerships that allow us to propel sales rapidly using force multipliers from our partners. Thank you.
Thank you. Congrats. All right, let's keep this party moving. Now I'd love to hand it over to Cody, co-founder and CEO of 4Point. I'll hand it over to Cody to share more about what they're building. Come on out.
Cody, the co-founder and CEO at 4Point. And we build AI to predict mineral deposits around the world for the mining industry. So by 2040, the International Energy Agency projects global demand for lithium, copper, nickel, cobalt, and rare earth elements to surge by 400 to 600%. And these resources, they're a part of our everyday lives, from powering cell phones to electric vehicles, to robotics, to energy storage, even all the way to the electrical grid. And while this might seem great to mining investors or commodities traders or energy traders, the problem is that mining is an impossibly inefficient process. Now, normally, a new mine will first begin with exploration. This process, on average, takes 15 years. This isn't an exaggeration. This is not the extreme. A group of geologists will go out into the world to hopefully make a new discovery, which then becomes a mine, which then you need to tack on another couple decades to fully see a return from this mining project. And here's the kicker. 1 in 1,000 exploration programs today are all that actually become a success. That is a 99% failure across all exploration across those 15 years. And not only has the demand for these critical minerals far outpaced supply, but that 2040 demand, it simply cannot be met with how things are today. So here's where 4Point comes in. At 4Point, we've developed deep learning, AI, and machine learning models to accurately map thousands of squared kilometers of these critical minerals around the globe using terabytes of geological data, geophysical data, satellite data. Mines and governments today are using our algorithms to accurately target new mineral discoveries. With our AI, these mining companies can save millions of dollars in capital expenditure because we cut those timelines by decades. That 15-year process we can bring down to a year and a half. And along the way, we track the improvements in ecological footprint, meaning the reductions in CO2 emissions, greenhouse gas emissions, deforestation, wildlife displacement. So what you're going to see on screen right now is a real-world prediction for a copper deposit that we found with high-grade copper detected at more than 500 meters in depth. Those little kind of yellow Lego blocks you see. Now, we did this by pulling together lithology data, fault data, alteration data, mineralization data to output these predictive results. And we've now done this all over the world, from detecting uranium to gold to lithium to nickel, copper, graphite, rare earth elements. But what we're most proud of today is being able to kick off what we call Project First. Project First stands for the Future Infrastructure for Resources, Security, and Transition. It is a $200 million multinational initiative focused on the development of Argentina's critical mineral sector. So we've brought together global partners across technology, government, mining, and innovation, and we're now partnered with the US Department of Energy, the DFC, and the Ministry of Economics of Argentina. So my brother Jordan and I, we started this company together about a year and a half ago, and we've built and sold tech companies together over the last decade. With 4Point, we've gathered a team of incredibly talented PhD engineers to work alongside our foreign affairs managers, as well as US government officials now on our advisory team. So if you'd like to come talk to us about Project First, the partners that we're bringing along, the financing that we're bringing into it, or the fundraising that's happening at 4Point, please come talk to us. Please connect. You can find us on LinkedIn. And sorry, Elon, I'm still going to call it Twitter. Thank you, guys.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Cody. All right, a question from the audience now. How do you confirm what resources you've predicted are actually there?
Yeah, thank you. Great question. So each time we make a prediction, this goes to the mine. And most of the time, they actually go drill out these predictions. And these soil samples are sent to an engineering lab. Those results are sent back to the mine. And the mine actually tell us whether we were accurate or not with our predictions. And what we found time and time again is that our predictions are accurate to about 90% across models, across all of the metals and minerals that we predict.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well done. Okay, up next, I'm pleased to introduce Aura and Juan, two of the co-founders of Singularity Health. They're building something really remarkable, and I'll let them share more. Come on out, Juan and Aura.
Hello, everyone. Let's meet Carl. He's an oncologist. He sees up to 30 patients a day, and he has to make life-changing decisions every 15 minutes with limited time, no real context, and no centralized view of patients' evolving condition. He's very stressed, very tired, and burnt out, but he's not alone. Studies show that physicians need at least 27 hours a day to deliver proper care, focusing on chronic disease management, preventive care, acute needs, and documentation. But this is clearly impossible because physicians are forced to cut corners and they need to make decisions under pressure, which often leads to delays, gaps in care, and worse outcomes. Now, let me introduce you to Sarah. She's Dr. Carl's patient, and she has breast cancer. Sarah feels very confused and scared because her treatment is very complex. And Dr. Carl seems very occupied, very busy in his computer and typing, and he feels very cold. She feels alone in a system that feels broken. That's why at Singularity Health, we created a platform that has 3 different tools, an app for patients, care for care personnel, a navigator, and an AI assistant for clinicians.
So now Sarah has access to a tool where she can manage her medication, track her symptoms, and also a personalized Netflix series about her treatment, her condition, about how to navigate it. Also have access to AI chatbots that can help her answer simple questions and escalate with a real person where it is needed. Also, Carl now sees all the updates from Sarah, how she's improving at home. Also, he can prioritize what are the patients that need access to an appointment first, and also can see the outcomes to see how the patients are evolving at home and see if the treatment is working or not. Also, Carl has access to Monaco AI, a tool that helps him find information from clinical guidelines in a very precise way. And also, he can activate this during the consultation, and we'll listen all the consultation and make a summary for him and for Sarah. Now, we are helping Carl making eye contact and feel more human with his patients. This is our traction. We have multiple pilots across the Americas. We're going to launch 2 new pilots soon, and we have the support from different pharmaceutical companies. The market opportunity is huge. There are over 200 million chronic patients around the world, and just in the US, there are $80 billion that can be saved a year with solutions like this. When we reach 1 million patients, we will unlock an annual recurrent revenue of $90 million, and this is our roadmap. Our goal in 5 years is to transform those 27 hours into 7 hours, creating a personalized care journey for every chronic disease known.
To accomplish this, we have an incredible team of physicians and engineers, and we're raising a seed round of $2 million to target pharma companies and healthcare providers with a SaaS business model. Join us and let's build a future where doctors can breathe and patients feel seen. Thank you very much, and if you're interested in investing, please feel free to scan the QR code. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing. That was fantastic. Congrats to you both on all the growth and all the success. So a question from the audience. What's the biggest challenge you faced integrating AI into your clinical workflows, and how do you overcome it?
Well, I think it was making physicians and nurses use the platform because they don't have time, because they are always busy. So this is like an egg and the chicken. They don't have time to innovate because they're very busy, but if we can't innovate, they will never have time. So what we did is building a platform that is so easy to use, so intuitive, that the training for them it takes less than minutes to get the training for them. So as you have seen in the presentation, we are not a development team making healthcare. We are a healthcare team making software. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Congrats. Thank you. Okay, what do we think so far? Amazing, right? Okay, so up next, I'm pleased to introduce Amit, one of the co-founders of Numer. Please come on out and join me on the stage.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amit Ayu, and I am the CEO and founder of Numer. And what we do is we build customer experience platforms that understand exactly where your customers are facing problems, why they're facing those problems, and we fire automatic fixes to solve those problems. So basically, the old model that used to do this is completely broken. And I was actually part of the team that invented the Net Promoter Score. So I know that old playbook. You would send out a survey, you would stare at some dashboards, and then just look and wait, and nothing happens, right? So it just doesn't work. That's why Sam and I created Numer. So Numer is an AI-powered system that breaks that old playbook. Okay, it turns customer insights into instant revenue-saving actions. So let's see how that works. So here's Bruce. And Bruce has just got a credit card from Gotham Bank. And with that, he's used the points to buy a Kevlar suit, obviously. And then nothing, right? He stopped using it, right? And this problem affects the banking industry everywhere. $18 billion a year is lost by customers not using their credit cards. And the reason Bruce didn't use it is because he had to send in a form manually, print it, sign it, and send it back to the bank to set up auto debit, which he didn't want to do. So he was about to toss that card into the trash when he receives this text. Skip the paperwork, click here to set up auto pay. One click, problem solved. Magic. So how did that happen? Well, a few days ago, people at Gotham Bank were looking at the numerous signal screen, and they noticed that there is this one cohort or one pod of people who were exhibiting that same pattern, that same behavior. People who were burning points with low spend, and it was costing them around $18 million a year. So an automated outreach went out where they talked to other customers automatically. The system talked to those customers, and there was somebody else who's talked about that same problem. That there was a form that they need to send in, and they didn't want to do that. In fact, this was a pattern that got matched across many users, and it was automatically highlighted as a problem area. What they then did was set up a workflow within Numer Signals, which allowed you to set up a smart SMS that would get triggered every time a new customer matched that particular group. So that's what Bruce got. That's the SMS that he got. He never filed a form, he never filled in a ticket, he never answered a survey, he just got that before the drop-off. And we have seen that in cases like this, that normally we are able to reduce almost 40 to 50% of blocked revenue that we are able to activate. And this isn't a prototype. We have been doing this for a while now. We have a bunch of companies that we're working with across many different industries. We are bootstrapped, but when we get in, we generally expand that account because we get in with one place and we move across. In North America, we are focusing on the banking space because there's so much broken in the banking space, which you guys are already aware of. There's problems around mortgage, branch queue abandonment, card onboarding. There's so many different places that we can get in and solve problems for customers. So this is the motion. We are right now live in North America with 2 banks. We want to move to 5 banks by end of this year. And then once we are established in that industry, we can then move on to insurance and auto. All these industries we are already working with, but we want to expand in North America for these particular spaces. So this team is pretty accomplished in terms of we have people on our board who invented the NPS measure. Dr. Laura Brooks, who invented the NPS measure. And then we also have Professor Ann, who's part of our team and advisor who heads the computer science department at York University. Sam has, my co-founder, has decades of experience in enterprise software. So right now, what we're looking for is connects. So people who can open doors inside banks. Right, where CX is stuck. If somebody comes to mind, or if that's you, I would love to chat. Okay, thanks for listening. I'm Amitayu, and I'm from Numer, and we fix customer problems. Thank you. I'll introduce Sam, who's my co-founder, and he'll answer the question that was submitted before.
Amazing, well done. That was fantastic, and I think we do have some folks from the banks in the room. Okay, so question for you. Why start with retail banks, and which banks are actually in your target?
Right, great question. So today banks are bleeding billions. It's a real problem. So there's $18 billion in dormant revenue. It costs banks $430 in lobby drop-off, and 40% of card users are dormant after the first week of usage. So the banks are feeling this pain, the revenue bleed. So we are targeting at the first step banks with the revenue from 1 to 10 billion, 67 banks who are digitally focused. And as the next step, we would look at banks with 10 billion plus revenue. So that's the model we are looking for.
Fantastic. Thank you both so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Okay, up next, I am super pleased to introduce David, founder and CEO of Flip. Flip empowers fitness businesses to simplify their operations and so much more. I'll let David explain. Dave, please come on out.
Hi everyone, David, CEO and founder at Flip, a simple gym management software to help gyms grow. I have a question for you. Who thinks running a gym is easy? Raise your hand. It may seem like it, but the reality, I built and grown 2 gyms over the last decade, and it's quite challenging. Whether it's for me as a gym owner or the typical gym owner, we have different problem. The main issue is we lost 40 to 50% of our current member every year, and that's the massive problem that we're trying to solve. On top of it, we're spending over 20 hours on admin tasks. We're juggling with multiple disconnected tools. And most importantly, we're missing on real-time data to make the best informed decision for our business. Flip is the revenue engine for gyms. It's basically composed of two core systems, an easy-to-use, modern gym management software, and also a CRM specifically designed for fitness. With those two systems, we combine 50 data points that are synced in real time to provide smarter automations and drive growth for gyms. Flip helps operators capture revenue opportunities across the entire customer journey. So we help them acquire new customers, help them manage, retain, and upsell current members. So we're the all-in-one solution to run the gym operation on a daily basis. To solve the main problem in the industry, member churn, what if gym operators could predict member churn with over 90% accuracy? This is what we built during the Google Accelerator, a tool prediction churn. So let's dive into it. So as you can see, this is the churn prediction dashboard. Robert is flagged at 81% of risk score with over $900 in projected lost revenue, mainly due to two factors. A decreased engagement pattern detected, but also also a note mentioning that there's a scheduling conflict. So our system suggests many actions, such as assigning a coach to reach out personally or sending an SMS campaign to make sure that we bring back this customer and avoid churn. Our traction, we've grown fast. We're at 3 million ARR with over 100% year-over-year growth and a less than 1% on a monthly churn. We have over 700 active customers across 10 countries, and we've recently raised $4 million earlier this year in seed round. Our team, we love fitness. We're passionate about helping gym owners succeed, and we're a mix of industry knowledge, but also deep domain expertise. We're actively looking to hire many roles across all departments. So if ever you know any top talent, please send them our way. And if you know any gym owners that are looking to grow, please introduce us. Thank you.
Amazing. I'm sure there's some job seekers in the room. All right, so that was awesome. Congrats. A question from the audience. Which key data inputs drive your model's high predictive accuracy?
Thank you, Aaron. So basically, we have two sets of data. The hard-coded data from the gym management system that basically set numbers around attendance, billing, and demographic. But we also have another layer, the human context from our CRM that analyze staff notes, chat logs, and also sentiment cues. So by blending these two models, we can really drive high prediction for our tool. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, David. All right, so now for our last presentation before the midway point, which we have a awesome fireside chat planned for you. I'm excited to now welcome Dr. Armstrong, one of the co-founders of Simmunome, to the stage. I'll leave it to Dr. Armstrong to share with you what they're building. So come on up.
Hi, everybody. My name is Armstrong, CEO and co-founder at Simmunome, and it's an extreme pleasure to be here to tell you about our tech bio company that's focused on smarter drug development, shorter timelines, and decreased risk. So this journey started after my PhD. 10 years ago, I sought out to cure HIV. But the more I pressed on, the more I learned about the challenges in the clinical drug discovery space. And as I dug deeper, I gained a complete understanding and appreciation for the 84% failure rate, $2.5 billion cost, and 10 to 15-year timeline to get a drug from bench to bedside. Now, despite all the advancements in modeling and high-throughput screening, the number one challenge that remains is clinical efficacy, and this is the top driver of trial failure. And that is why we founded Simunome, because we aim to leverage biologically accurate AI-driven simulations to model clinical trial outcomes and reduce these failures. And we deliver this by two tools. One, biotarget scoring, which focuses on target validation and prioritization. And the next one, omics signatures, which focuses on patient response and biomarker discovery. Now, take, for example, an ALS researcher. Through our intuitive point-and-click interface, the researcher can query their target over 1.3 million dynamic molecular interactions with information from 20,000 patient samples that have been integrated. Not only do they better understand the likelihood of success, they also get to understand how their drug performs against the ones that have been approved for that indication. This is the power of years of research and uncertainty reduced to minutes for insights. To date, we have 9 disease models built in oncology and neurodegenerative diseases, and now it takes 3 to 4 weeks to get a new model built for any indication. We are assured of our value as we validated using past clinical trials to the tune of 78% of failures that could have been detected using our tool. And overall, this drives over $1.4 billion saved per clinical drug development. Now, to date, we have accrued a combined $1.2 million in revenue and sales funnel value. We're well supported through our clients and partners, including Merck Digital's Science Studio, and we're forecasting a $3.3 million ARR by the end of next year, driven by our partnerships and conversations with 5 of 20 multinational pharma companies. Our leadership team consists of myself, a background in bioinformatics and clinical research, and my co-founder sitting over there, Nardine, whose background is in computational neuroscience and machine learning. We have a team of 8, and although we're tech-focused, we're rapidly increasing our commercial expertise. Now, we've come a long way, and we're eager for the future. We currently have our round open for $2 million to drive sales, increase our marketing team, increase our size and strategic partnerships to get us to escape velocity. Once again, my name is Armstrong, and I welcome you to join us in transforming drug discovery. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I mean, talk about impactful work. That's amazing. All right, so question. There are many companies in this space now. What differentiates you to stand out in this fast-evolving field?
That's a great question, thank you. And this is a question we face a lot. So one of our key differentiators is we focus on the biology and not the chemistry, because we believe that this is an untapped area that needs to be figured out for clinical discovery. The next thing is we focus on pharma-enabling tools only. We do not develop our own drugs because we do not want to be in competition with our potential clients. We also have this delivered through a SaaS platform where any researcher can log in, run their queries, get their insights in a completely no-code environment, which obviously will help with uptake as well as broad use. And lastly, we use a hybrid approach that focuses on mechanistic modeling and AI to deliver quick results, accurate results, even in low data environments. Thanks.
Thank you. And congrats to you and Nardine. All right, so please give it up for the 7 presentations we've heard from so far. What do you think? They're amazing, right? So now we're going to take a quick pause from the presentations and get into our fireside chat discussion. Our team's just going to set up the space, so just give us a few minutes. Okay, so are we ready to hear from our special guest speakers? Yes? Okay. All right, so joining us now will be Natasha Walji, Managing Director of Google Customer Solutions, and Craig Oliva, Director of Customer Engineering with Google Cloud. They are also Google Toronto's co-site leads. This conversation will be moderated by my colleague and friend, Naveen Nigam, who's the head of our developer ecosystem for the Americas. I'm really looking forward to hearing their thoughts, so please, let's welcome them to the stage. Come on out. There you go. Thank you.
Go for it. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Naveen Nigam. I head up dev ecosystem efforts across Americas. I'm extremely excited to be here, not only for demo day. First of all, amazing pitches so far. So a round of applause for them, please. Really impressive what we've seen. And I'm now, more importantly, excited to be having this conversation, which promises to be extremely insightful and engaging. Surprise, surprise, we're talking about AI. The plan is to talk about AI, the revolution of AI, but more importantly, Toronto Tech Week this week. You're all here. We thought, what better way to get everyone engaged than having the folks that run the Google Toronto office, our site leads here, to talk about what the impact of what we're doing is on all of you, on startups, on the ecosystem, on SMBs. And so we have a very tight agenda. We're pressed on time, so I'm going to quickly go through this. Let's start with just getting to know both of you, more so your origin story.
All right. Congrats to everyone, first of all, on your demos. They were amazing. So I'm originally from Calgary. I came to Canada in the 80s, and my first job was actually in software development. So I studied computer science. I like to think of myself as an original trailblazer of vibe coding, because I used to listen to hip hop now and then while I was coding. This is a true story. I know vibe coding means something else now. But then I kind of shifted gears. I had the chance to work actually for my dad, who had a fintech company in Deloitte, and then shifted gears through business school and ended up at McKinsey for almost 5 years. And then landed at Google, I can't believe this, 15 years ago in New York. Yeah, I know. I joined when I was 10, obviously. And then kind of moved through different roles. So I was in strategy in New York, finance, and then moved over to the sales side about a dozen years ago. And today I have the privilege of leading our SMB practice from an ads perspective, which means I have the privilege of working with incredible founders across our ecosystem to help them scale using Google's AI-powered marketing solutions.
Right.
Awesome. So my name's Craig Oliva. I'm originally from Windsor, Ontario. If you know, I'm assuming most people know where that is. Probably haven't visited. But outside of that, so I came to Toronto maybe 20 years ago plus. In my time, I studied geomatics engineering. I don't even know if anyone's even heard of that in this room, but it's mapping science. I have a beard, so that makes sense. You get into mapping. And actually, I focused on how you take imagery from satellites and airplanes and make it usable. That was my area of study. If I click a pixel, I want to know what exactly is there, and I want to know exactly where it is on the planet. And that was, for whatever reason, that was interesting to me at the time. Worked for a company that built that software. It's called PCI Geomatics. I think they've since rebranded to something called Catalyst.ai. And joined Google 13 years ago. I don't normally meet people who've been here longer than me, but joined Google 13 years ago in the Maps team. So Google Maps, they wanted people who understood how to work with mapping data, integrate it into Google Maps. So I came on board then. 2 years after that, I moved into cloud. And in particular, so my role here, I was like the first cloud employee for Google in Canada at the time. And my role is I lead what's called our customer engineering team, but really it's all of our cloud engineers that work with customers and public sector across Canada. So AI, infrastructure, data, security, those folks roll up into me, and we work with organizations across Canada, startups and enterprises and public sector, to help them deploy and build things in the cloud, including AI. So seeing like the demos today is really exciting for me as an engineer, and just seeing this stuff come to life is really, really impressive, very impressive. So I'm really excited to be here, meet everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So let's get started with, we know Toronto as a market. We know it's the largest startup ecosystem across Canada. I'd love to know from both of you, from your vantage point, where you are at Google, the roles that you play, what's your current read of the startup ecosystem here in Toronto specifically?
Want me to start? Yeah. Okay. So first of all, I think it's the last 3 years or so here in particular has really changed. Again, I've been working in this space for the last 13 years, in cloud especially, but the last three to 5 years or so, I think AI in particular has transformed this particular space. Clearly, you're all doing something with it, so you know that. But Toronto is this sort of is a leading hub in North America for AI. There's a tremendous amount of research that goes on here. It sits in the U of T. There's a Vector Institute. There's a lot of talent. So it does not surprise me at all that the startups around here are, and the businesses around here are benefiting from that in many ways. We've seen the data from VC funding. Again, you probably know this, most of it in Canada lands in this area, Toronto-Waterloo corridor, something like 32% lands in this region, and it manifests itself into what we see today. And what I would tell all of you, because again, I work with startups and I work with like the largest enterprises here, the pace at which this group is actually using this technology is really, really exciting for me, because the big guys are doing it, but they're going slow.
Right.
Very slow. Okay. Canada is last in the G7 countries for AI adoption. Right. So that, and I think we're doing pretty poor in productivity as well. So this is an opportunity, and I think all of you have an opportunity. I've seen the phase of moving from like ideation through to something in production in this group far surpasses anywhere. Most organizations I speak to are thinking about, how do I build a chatbot, right? That you all have chatbots, right? So it's about like taking the next step. And so, we work with them. I'm really excited to see how the startups just embraced the AI technology and incorporating it into the business. And it makes me really excited as a Canadian for what's going to come out of this group. Yeah.
Interesting.
Awesome. And I can build on that if that works.
Please.
So kind of 3 insights I wanted to build on. One is venture funding. So I think venture funding prior to 3 years ago was growth at all costs, and now it's all about profitability. So I was so delighted to see so many of you already driving revenue from your business, and I hope it's profitable for you. The second thing that I wanted to share is that AI is leveling the playing field in a way that we've never seen before. The barrier to entry, the barrier to create products, like through vibe coding, and I couldn't help myself, but this is true, right? You can use natural language processing now. English is the new language of coding, right? Means that more people are starting to build products and services. So I was reading a very interesting post from a venture capitalist, and what he was saying is actually the differentiator is marketing and distribution. Google, for example, was not the first search engine. We were number 4 or 5. I don't know what at that time. I think I was using Alta Vista, maybe.
Vista, yeah.
Yeah. Any Alta Vista users in the room? Okay. You're at Google. Thank you. But my point is I just want you to each think a lot about that, marketing and distribution. And that's why I love what I get to do. I get to actually help my founders, my CEO, my C-levels effectively scale using AI marketing solutions. And so the new age of marketing, by extension of all of that, is profit-driven marketing. So that's not marketing as a cost center, it's marketing as a profit center. So what I implore you to do is don't forget about marketing and distribution while you're building your product. Like the power combination for founders is a deep technical person with somebody with deep business knowledge on marketing and distribution. And then as you dabble into marketing, make sure you're getting return on investment from what you're investing in. So if you are investing in marketing, $1 in marketing, how much revenue are actually driving at that? And make sure you factor in your profitability. So every dollar, every customer you're bringing in is ideally profitable on that sale. And you can obviously think about lifetime value, but I'll stop there because I know I have things to cover.
No, this is great. And as you're speaking about that, I want to kind of go a little deeper with you on this, that as they're building themselves, as they're setting themselves to be ready for this, what are some particular trends in the consumer behavior or market dynamic shifts that folks should be ready for?
Yeah, so a couple things. So Canada is definitely having a brand moment globally and in the Canadian market. And I'm thinking about especially those of you that have B2C businesses, even B2B, Canadian companies want to buy from Canadian founders and companies and work with them, and so do Canadian consumers. And so this peak happened in February where we looked at made in Canada searches on Google. It was up 100 times.
Yeah.
Okay, it is now, in quotes, I'm going to say this in quotes, normalized to now a 3 times the historical level. And people are searching for all sorts of things made in Canada, if you can believe it. Toothpaste, I'm quite surprised with that. Clothes, mattresses, et cetera, et cetera. But I think this is a market opportunity if you've not thought about it as you think about marketing. I think the second thing that I'm seeing from a lot of our partners is just thinking about how they export their products and services around the world. And you can use AI-powered marketing to do that and going beyond just the US market. I know that many of my clients actually obviously do a lot of work in the US, but I think given everything that's been happening, a lot of them are thinking about what are my alternative markets, for example, markets in the EU, UK, Australia, but not just English-speaking markets, and that's because we now have AI-powered tools, thank you, Craig, that can translate into other languages. And the language translation is so deep, we can even translate into Quebecois French.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. I don't speak Quebecois French. I see.
It was one of the first translations we did.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, I guess it must be in your team. But I mean, I think that's pretty profound because I think that was a barrier for a lot of founders exporting their services and products around the world. And so just something for each of you to be thinking about. And then we see a lot of consumers online continuing to be undecided. So for every brand search that's online, 2 are undecided searches, more generic. That is beautiful for founders. Because if you are building your brand and you can build it over time, you can get in the consideration set by being top of the digital shelf, right, through marketing, and really become part of the consideration set for your consumers. So those are kind of 3 really interesting insights.
Thank you for
I've
that.
seen. Yeah.
Thank you. I recently had a conversation with the Minister of Innovation, Minister of Industry, and one of the things that was profoundly true was, okay, AI is here, we get it, but it's also different. And when they look at previous revolutions and whatnot and what was available, this is very different. And so now knowing that AI is no longer a futuristic concept, could you share a little bit more, Craig, on AI, particularly Gen AI, how it's shaping and how businesses, SMBs, startups need to look at it from how to operate, how to innovate, and really how to compete not only in Toronto, but at the global stage?
Yeah, so I've been thinking, when I look at that technology and really ultimately what it allows you to do, like if I'm a startup, is I would say it allows me to take like a 10-person company and look like a 1,000-person company. Right. And I'm telling you that now because, again, the big guys are not there yet in terms of adoption, right? So you can compete with them on many levels. And so, okay, what do we see most common? I think one of the most common things I'm seeing from the technology adoption right now in startups and small businesses is, like, in no particular order. Number one is things like building software quicker through coding. I'm assuming lots of people in here have looked at code assistant type technologies before, like building code. So that has moved very quickly from, a couple of years ago where it was kind of, you can probably build some stuff at the level of like a, entry level grad type skill set.
Right.
It has quickly moved like beyond that into like, much more advanced software to the tune that Google itself is building. About 30% of our software now is generative AI based.
Yeah.
Okay, so like we're using it ourselves to power a lot of things. So I'm seeing small businesses adopt that pretty quickly, and that means you can develop your code. If you choose to go that path, you can develop your software and release features very, very quickly, including things like detecting bugs and hardening and improving the security posture. Very common sort of set of use cases we see. The other thing is from a marketing and content creation perspective, I know this is probably one of the most common things, but to be able to take like a campaign that you want to run with and then make 10 different versions of it very quickly, and then to test all of them very quickly and to translate them and to see which one resonates more than another, it allows creatives and marketing departments to completely change like the effectiveness of their groups. And we're seeing that pretty significantly as well. And then I would say just like, it's the boring stuff, but task automation is one of the most common things people are doing. So data entry, data extraction, pulling information out of documents very quickly, document verification processes, procurement, these sorts of things we see kind of as the use cases bubbling up very quickly, outside of like the most common stuff you already see today. So the use case so an example of this is one I love because I was just more blown away that this is even a thing. But we actually, I think it was a cohort of the startup group here. So if folks know Nesto is like a digital mortgage lender. So it turns out when you go through and apply for a mortgage, you basically, there's like an underwriter assess the risks behind it, and you have to supply, if anyone's done it here, you have to supply a whole host of like documentation to prove that you make money and you can pay for a mortgage and all these other things. So it turns out these are dozens, if not up to 100 plus documents that need to be reviewed. Those documents need to be reviewed against a 60-page guideline of like things to check to verify that you can take on a mortgage. That verification was always done manually by underwriters that are looking to issue mortgages. So Nesto has built a platform themselves that basically automates all of that, to the point that an underwriter now, instead of verifying 60 pages of guidelines, they need to now check maybe a handful, like 4 or 5 data points after they run through it, to verify if someone can take on a mortgage. What does that mean for a company of that size? That now, they're small compared to the big lenders, but they can process way more applications than anyone else. They can get back to people way quicker, right? This is a very simple, like intuitive use case, but completely changes the game. In fact, I think last year they acquired CMLS. Like they've just, they've really expanded quickly. So again, like I just see the disruption there is unbelievable, and I think the use cases again are coming out of this group are amazing. So,
yeah. And I love that example. They were actually a graduate of one of our accelerator classes, so it's a great example. Natasha, we've all heard about the potential AI has to boost Canada's economy by $230 billion. That's no joke, but what does that mean for startups and SMB? How can they benefit from that? How can they contribute towards that and really make a difference through AI adoption?
Well, first of all, you are the difference makers in the economy. If you look at SMBs, they power over 55% of the GDP of Canada, and you're the lifeblood of the economy, right? Yeah. You're the lifeblood of the innovation economy, and we are at such an important transition moment for Canada. And I was so heartened to see the Canadian government's mandate letter for the first time ever underscore artificial intelligence as an important piece of the way forward. So I'm hoping that will come with additional programming, obviously helping all of you. I was also heartened to see the G7 for the first time ever connect AI to prosperity, right? Which I think is a really powerful lens to look at for economies around the world and specifically Canada. So we had Public First run a study on the Canadian market for Google Canada, and the impact, as you shared, is $230 billion on our economy. For context, our economy is a $2 trillion economy. So this is significant. And so I love what you're doing because you're helping us lead the way, and you're kind of the tip of the spear of all of that. But I want to underscore what Craig shared earlier, right? Only 27% of SMBs currently have adopted AI. And so I think that's kind of like the opportunity. And what I see from the customers that I work with, what separates the best from the rest are the ones that are doubling down on experimentation and learning. And I know you're doing that naturally as founders, but I just want to encourage each of you to think about that, because while we're going to have a big economic impact, what we also see is that founders will be saving up to 175 hours a year in time, which is almost 10% of your time. So AI, and Craig, you beautifully illustrated that with that example, can be a powerful tool to save you time, to help you innovate faster, spend more time with your customers, and maybe even spend more time with your family, by the way. And so I think the opportunity is tremendous. I see all of you as the tip of the spear, and just keep experimenting. I think programs like this are really instrumental. I loved how many of the founders got up here and said, look, I just need introductions. Yeah. That can unlock opportunity. And stay laser focused on powering your P&L, making money profitably, because then that cash flow can be invested to help you continue to scale.
That's great. Thank you. Craig, there's many people here, there's probably many people in the industry right now that they're ready for AI, but they're overwhelmed. They're not sure where to begin, where to start their AI journey. Any best practices, anything you can share on like getting started in their AI journey?
Yeah, so I see, okay, so where I see paralysis happen with this typically is, one of the most common things is, what tool do I use? And there's a lot of, Google has stuff, Microsoft has stuff. But whatever. There's a lot of tooling out there. Okay.
Something back there.
Microsoft bought their stuff. Got it.
Right.
Whoops. Anyways, there's a lot of tools. So the point is, the challenge is you get into this like, okay, well, what tool's right for me, and what should I do? And by the way, next week everything changes again, and there's a new tool, there's a new feature. It's changing so fast. So the first thing that I think through is, what is the thing we're trying to solve for, the problem, right? Because oftentimes I've seen it where people evaluate tools, but they just don't even know what they're actually trying to solve. And so I always think it's like, just to start with the thing that you think there's an opportunity here to solve for. And the next thing is then to quickly test it. Whatever tools you can get your hands on. Obviously, we'd love it to be the Google's tools, but the point is get your hands on something and just try it. Try and like solve that problem. See if you can prove value there, right? And don't try and boil the ocean, but always look for use cases that sort of have a high impact, right? Because you want it to obviously at the end of the day drive business value. And then I think lastly, if I had to keep it super simple, would be there's a lot of there's so much great training and like free education that's out there. And we announced some stuff a few weeks ago, right? That Toronto Public Library is going to be hosting a ton of free courses and training that Google's giving through there. So there's a lot of stuff out there that you can take advantage of and just get your hands dirty and immerse in the learning. And realistically, there's very few people who are experts in this field right now, right? So everybody's learning. So learn as much as you can and build as quickly as you can and try as many things as possible. And that's how I'd say just dive into it. Don't get stuck in the paralysis of the tooling. Yeah.
As you spoke about some of the announcements that we made, I'm curious, Natasha, we recently announced our $13 million AI Opportunity Fund. That's huge. But how do you see initiatives like this directly impacting startups, SMBs, but more specifically, how does it bridge the gap between AI skill set and AI adoption?
Yeah, and I think that's an important question, and I'll build also from what Craig shared. So first of all, we know 27% of SMBs are adopting AI, and one of the reasons why they're not adopting AI is they're not leaning into experimentation enough. And the other gap is skills. We don't have enough skilled Canadians that are actually there for you to hire. But it turns out Canadians are actually very excited to learn about AI. Over 60% of Canadians would like to build their AI skills. And when we look at next generation Canadians, young people, it's over 70%. So that was actually the thinking behind the $13 million AI Opportunity Fund, is how can we do something to help fuel Canada's innovation economy, help kind of nudge us towards more of an AI-first economy, and that's by making sure that Canadians have access to AI upskilling at a cost that is palatable. And so the $13 million fund is going to 4 organizations, the Alberta Machine Intelligence Institute, focused on post-secondary students, First Nations Technology Council, focused on the Indigenous community, but in partnership, really going out to the communities and understanding what they need and being respectful of their culture, and then designing programs. They will be co-creating the programs themselves for the community. The third institution is Skills for Change, that support newcomers to Canada. And the last one here in our backyard is the Toronto Public Library. And that one I love because I was talking to the CEO of the foundation, and he said, did you know that people start a lot of businesses in our public library system? Cool. And it is the largest public library network in all of North America. And collectively, this fund will reach 2 million Canadians. And so we are really fired up about this. Thank you.
So you touched on this. We spoke about AI skilling and what the natural next question, like resources. Do you have some resources that you'd love to point to so people can, again, start that upskilling journey?
Absolutely. Definitely go to your Toronto Public Library. They'll have lots of, apparently this course are oversubscribed, but they'll be kind of continuing to scale them further. This is very much complementary to a lot of existing programs that we have, and I'll keep it brief because I know we're short on time. Good. So 3 of them that I wanted to point you to. If you are career shifting or thinking about this, we've got Google Career Certificates. These are 7 certificates, including things like cybersecurity, where we have researched the top careers where there are skill gaps and where people can earn at least $75,000 or more a year. They take 6 to 9 months to complete, and all it requires is a Coursera membership per month. So you can get it done like for $75, I think, Canadian per month. So that's excellent. 75% of the graduates from this program, of which we've had over 50,000 Canadians take this. I was so proud of that number. 75% of them have improved an outcome, got a new job, promotion, etc. So Google Career Certificates, you can find it online. Really awesome. The second thing is the Google AI Essentials program. It is the #1 generative AI course globally on Coursera. Again, very low cost. Check it out. And the last one is a free 1-hour workshop for SMBs on prompt essentials, AI essentials, which is totally free. I think Iran's going to share the QR code with you later, but check it out. These are great tools to, again, stimulate the thinking and keep experimenting, to Craig's point.
I love that. And we'll make sure to do exactly that. Just all the resources mentioned here, we'll make sure to share it out with everyone. Now, we're pressed on time right now, and so I'm going to quickly go to something kind of quick to both of you. Spoke a lot about AI. We spoke about, what the opportunity is there. A short word or phrase that excites you the most when it comes to AI. I'd love from both of you.
Me? Just a phrase? Okay.
Just a phrase, sure. Just one phrase.
2 words. I would say competitive edge. I genuinely believe that here. Yeah.
I love it. How many people agree with that? Let's leave some hands. Yeah, there we go. Excellent. Natasha.
Scaled impact. So one of my side hustles has always been community service, and I fundamentally believe AI will solve the greatest challenges of our time, and it will do it in a scaled way we have never seen before. Not just obviously world challenges, business, etc. So scaled impact.
And you talk about alignment. I see those two going hand in hand as well.
Yes.
Like 100%. It's because of that scaled impact that we can get that competitive edge. So thank you. Yes. With that, thank you both very much for this. This was extremely valuable. Thank you.
So much.
Appreciate the insight. Appreciate you taking the time. The way I look at it, I was trying to make some notes here, and navigating the challenges for all the different startups, the founders, SMBs here, there's 3 buckets that I kind of picked it in. Like, you got to navigate the challenge with strategic thinking, continuous learning with all the resources, and strong community support. Events like this really help that. One of the best things you all have is the networking hour afterwards to engage and have those conversations. So please take advantage of that. With that, let's get back to the awesome startup pitches again. All right, thank you all.
Thank you all so much. Natasha, Craig, really appreciate it. All right, we're just going to reset the space once more, and we'll keep rolling with the presentations. All right. That was great, right? Like, I'm really excited, and as Natasha said, fired up by all of the opportunity and the potential. So yes, our team has put together a one-pager of a number of resources that are available to startups and SMBs, or really any innovators that are looking to, use Google's tools to help you innovate. So that'll be shared with everyone following the session today. Okay, so let's keep things going. Now I'm really excited to introduce Pablo, co-founder and CEO of Teddy. Teddy is a wellness platform with modern, flexible benefits, and I'll let Pablo share more. Pablo, come on out.
Thank you. This is me. As a teenager, I used to work in an ice cream shop nearby Montreal. Was long hours, underpaid, but this job came with the most amazing benefit. I got to bring all leftover ice cream back home at the end of the shift. It was just amazing. Actually, it was magical. And till today, is probably the most memorable benefit I ever had in a job. Today, when you think about employee benefits, these words come to mind. Rigid. One size that really fits no one. Ignored by too many employees. Expensive also for many businesses, and definitely way too much boring. We want to change that. We want to change with something with a different vision. What we have in mind with Teddy is, first of all, benefits should be flexible for the employer and also the employee. Also, they should be self-serve, meaning that you don't need to ask permission for changing your benefits if your business grows. Personalized, meaning providing full agency for employees to use them where they want, and when they want. Affordable for all businesses, meaning all business sizes and also all industries. And most important, magical. Folks, let me introduce you to Teddy. Teddy is the modern benefits platform that aligns perfectly with your values, HR objectives, and also financial reality. We feature Canada's most flexible wellness and lifestyle spending account that covers anything from pet care to streaming services. We also feature Canada's only commission-free health spending account, work-from-home stipends, career development options, financial wallets. And we're also bringing a new smart wallet that is powered by AI that will completely change the way personalization is conducted when it comes to benefits in Canada and also the world. As you can see, in a few clicks, in 20 minutes or 30 minutes, anyone can be as cool as Google when it comes to benefits, and more especially at their price. In terms of traction, we have 9,000 paid customers on the platform that are represented by 450 businesses. We are at 64K MRR, and we have less than 1% churn rate. So people love Teddy, and they stick for a very long time. Another thing that is important as well is that in the last 12 months, we processed around $10 million of claims. 97% of those claims were fully automated. And we want to go to 100%, obviously. We have a team of 5. These are the 3 co-founders, myself, Sydney, which is here, JF, that is here as well, taking care of, respectively, product and also growth. In terms of, and we all align into one single vision, is to make sure that Teddy is going to be the next generation benefits engine for the modern business and modern workplace. And today, we're raising $2 million to go to reach that objective. We already reached 50% of that round. It's committed at the moment. The idea with this round is to accelerate our growth all across Canada and also launch in the US and other markets. Natasha mentioned it. That was important. It is something that we're doing today as well. So investors, if you want to talk, we'd be happy. We'd be to share a few drinks with you and explain to you how we plan to get there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pablo. I mean, benefits like Google, more like benefits like Teddy. I'm sure you guys have some great...
You guys should be on Teddy.
All right, let's go to your question. I'm just going to grab the clicker from you, if that's okay. Amazing. So, what's your go-to-market strategy?
So again, Natasha said something important. It's not only about the product that we have. It's also about the marketing and the brand. And I believe, and we believe, that Teddy is a brand. And in terms of marketing, this is one of the strengths that we have. 97% of our leads are generated by our own efforts. We nurture the pipe. We are out there on LinkedIn, reaching out HR people, CEOs, CFOs. And really soon we are launching as well a new edition of Teddy called Teddy for Partners that will also include accountants, advisors, aka brokers, and also HR specialists to the equation to increase our distribution. So we have something that works really well, but we're just amplifying what we're doing and increasing that pipe every day.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. So now I'm happy to introduce Dr. Mike, CEO and founder of Luxonic. Luxonic addresses the global radiologist shortage. So I'll let Dr. Mike share more. And he's got a really cool headset with him that you should all check out afterwards. So Dr. Mike, come on out.
All right, can I get a quick show of hands? How many of you in the audience has ever had a medical image done? Yeah, keep your hands up if you've ever wondered, why does it take so long to get my report from the radiologist? Yeah, you're not alone. In fact, 70% of global radiology clinics have reporting delays of greater than a week, and for non-emergency care, those delays can grow to over a month. There are a couple of reasons for this. First, radiologists can't keep up with the demand in medical imaging. Imaging volumes have grown by over 1,000% in the last decade. We just don't have enough radiologists. And on top of that, the current workflow tools that radiologists have, like you see in this picture, are expensive, outdated, and pretty much as efficient as they can get. Radiologists can't meet the growing demand with these tools, so we need something better. That's exactly what we've created. The Virtual Imaging Platform, or VIP, is an all-in-one operating system for radiology workflow. Improving productivity using the latest in Gen AI technology and providing radiologists with mobility for the first time using virtual reality. Here's what it feels like to use our system. All you need is a VR headset. It's completely mobile and self-contained. Additionally, we're using AI across our entire platform to improve radiologist productivity. For example, what you're seeing here is a real-time dictation and transcription by a radiologist while they're reviewing a case. The radiologist is looking at CTs from a patient that came in complaining of abdominal pain. The radiologist uses these images to determine the patient has diverticulitis. Once the radiologist has completed their dictation, VIP connects to Gemini and creates a structured report almost instantaneously, saving the radiologist time and effort. And that's just one example. VIP can replace all of these legacy back-end and front-end systems, as well as expensive hardware. It really is a complete end-to-end solution. The benefits are cost savings of up to 50% for healthcare systems and up to 20% productivity gain for radiologists, helping them tackle that growing demand that we just talked about. We're disrupting the $42 billion global radiology workflow market and on track to hit $1 million ARR this year with 20 enterprise clients. We've completed our core product development, have regulatory approval, our first patent, and secured a major partnership with Bayer. We're confident in our continued success because our leadership team has done this before. We're multi-time founders. One of us even has a 9-figure exit in this space, and we all have deep experience in radiology, AI, and VR. We're also getting amazing advice from leading radiologists, entrepreneurs, and industry veterans. We're fundraising to fuel our revenue growth. We have 50% of our round committed and are evaluating term sheets from VCs to fill the rest of the round, but we do have a little room left for the right investors. So if you'd like to connect and join us in building the future of radiology workflow. Thank you very much.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, and thank you for finding a solution to this problem. So a question from the audience. Obviously, we're talking about radiology. What are radiologists saying about your platform?
That's a great question, Aaron. Thank you. When radiologists try our system for the first time, it's like a eureka moment. They try it on, they get it, and they love it. But I think it's best to hear from an actual radiologist. Dr. Nick Galanti says he's a leading radiologist at one of the largest radiology practice groups in the U.S. So he says the VIP is the answer to the radiologist shortage and exponential growth in imaging utilization. I mean, that's pretty phenomenal praise. So if you'd like to see it for yourself, I've got a headset with me. Come and find us. Thank you.
Congrats again. All right, I'm going to try that headset. Okay, up next, I'd love to introduce Gwenaëlle, CEO and co-founder of WaveShaper AI. WaveShaper AI empowers manufacturers and developers to deliver premium, real-time audio on small devices. Please give them a round of applause.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Gwenaëlle Lebodic, CEO at WaveShaper AI. We have some slides. Okay, good. Quick question. How many of you have struggled trying to get a meaningful conversation with a smart agent like Siri with voice? Oh, so many. I'm not the only one. I thought that was probably because of my strong French accent, but not only. It's because I use those agents often in very noisy environment. And those agents' conversations tend to fail, not because of their lack of intelligence, but because due to voice intelligibility. That's an issue. And agents today are adopting voice at a very fast rate. It's a big market, estimated at 47 billion by 2034. Voice intelligibility is preventing a wide adoption of voice AI. That's a problem. And that's where WaveShaper comes in. So WaveShaper, we did build a very powerful audio processing platform with models that we create with machine learning. And we have a vast selection of models. Some for voice cleaning, denoising, de-reverb, de-echoing, voice rippers, so we augment the voice when we can. We use also models for music processing, event classification, and others. But today, the audio engines, a very important part of the platform, is how we get that into third-party products. We have software libraries for several target platforms, and we embed this, and they run. Their particularity is that they run on edge AI, very fast in real time, no need for GPU, no connectivity, super fast. So what I would like to do today is to show you one model, one that has been designed by my team recently to remove the wind noise from voice. So I'm going to show you a soundtrack before processing and after. Let's go with some sound. I hope it works here.
The difference in the rainbow depends considerably upon the size of the drops.
Oh, that's horrible.
And the width of the colored band increases as the size of the drops increase.
Does that relate sometimes when you're on the phone and you have that? Okay. Let's clean that up.
The difference in the rainbow depends considerably upon the size of the drops and the width of
Okay,
the
this is a
colored
dramatic
band
change.
increases
What I want to
as the
point
size
here
of the
is that we do that real time. So here for the demo, I've recorded that, but that can run during a voice conversation, and that's real-time processing using machine learning. So our markets, we are targeting professional communication equipment, but also personal electronics, and of course, the market of voice agents. We have very cool ongoing projects. One of those is in the car industry. So we are generating the sound of engine of electric cars with our system. We have also another project related to the optimization of voice ordering in a quick service restaurant that is used outdoor with car noise, etc., and wind. And another project where we are optimizing the speech-to-text transcription for a healthcare agent in a very noisy environment. It's a dentist. Okay, how do we win? We provide better audio accuracy. That's because we use a specific neural architecture that we have patented. We simplify audio engineering by automating the process of creation of models using machine learning. And we build super fast audio engines, little players that you can embed into any third-party products. This is our wonderful team of machine learning experts and audio engineers led by myself, Gwenel. I'm an entrepreneur based in Montreal, and I had a successful company exit in 2019. And we are at a stage where we are raising money. So we are looking for $2.5 million CAD. And we have already 50% of it that is committed. And we love to have conversations with angels, VCs, in order to contribute to that very promising project. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was fantastic. All right. So I loved hearing the examples. I think that's super helpful for the audience. For those who aren't in the room for us and who want to check out your models later, is there a way to listen to your audio models?
Yes, I think so. Yes, that was only one model among many others. So you can go to our website. We have like players after, before. You can just play with those. We have, for the most adventurous, we have a GitHub repo. You can get there. You download an audio engine. You can play on your computer or your preferred product, embed that, pick up a model, and listen to that. But we have also for musicians and podcasters or broadcasters using audio tools, we have a set of plugins as well that you can just download and get into your tools and play and remove noise. We are about real-time processing, but of course we can do post-processing too. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Well done. Okay, now it's time to hear from Mathurin, CTO and co-founder of Quanto. They are an automated bookkeeping platform for accounting firms. So please come on out and share more.
We're Quanto, and we're helping accounting firms scale by automating tedious and painful workflows. Accounting firms have a problem. They don't have access to the talent that they need to grow. In the coming years, 75% of CPAs are expected to retire over the next 5 years. And there's been a steady 8% decline in accounting new grads year over year. At Quanto, we think we can change that. By building AI agents to automate their workflows, accountants can become more efficient and help accounting firms scale by increasing the number of clients they can service while maintaining their headcount. We do this by automating how So at Quanto, we actually, can I just restart actually? Yeah. So we're Quanto, and we help accounting firms scale by automating their bookkeeping workflows. There's 75% of CPAs and bookkeepers are expected to retire over the next 5 years, and there's been a steady 8% decline year over year of accounting new grads. But we think we can automate workflows. Sorry. Sorry.
Want a minute?
Yeah, I need a minute.
We'll come back to you. Want to do that?
We'll come back.
We are going to just keep things rolling, and we're going to come back to the Quanto team in a minute. All right. Okay. So up next, please join me in welcoming Jeff and Manmeet, co-founders of MarketMind. They are MarketMind is an AI-assisted investment relations platform that solves the challenges faced by public companies. So Jeff and Manmeet, come on out.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jeff Macer, founder and CEO of MarketMind, where investors go for real answers. So I know there's a few VCs in the crowd. How many of you have invested for the fund without ever meeting management? Like just reading the PowerPoint alone? Okay, good call. Very good call. You really can't glean that much. There's so much more flavor. The story just doesn't jump out. Even if you're to read all the financials and everything, it just doesn't jump out. Public market investors are the same way. The challenge with public companies is that there's a ton of tiny investors. Could be thousands of investors for a single company. So how can every single investor possibly meet with management? Okay, so that's really not very fair, right? Large investors have a very big advantage. And so, unfortunately, retail investors therefore have to turn to all kinds of crazy sources like whatever, Reddit, other social media. Not a great way to make trading decisions. So when my last startup went public, I was actually shocked at how much money public companies have to spend on investor relations. It's anywhere from, $500,000 to $1 million per company for a mid-sized NASDAQ company. I even spoke with one guy from a NASDAQ mid-cap company that spent $11 million in 1 year. I mean, it's outrageous. It's a huge, huge cost of capital drain. So the problem is it's just sort of a necessary evil because we live in a world today, thanks to, I know Wealthsimple's in the audience, but thanks to apps like Robinhood, there's so many tiny little investors that own now the majority of most public companies. The majority of the world's publicly traded shares today are owned by retail. It's crazy. And it's going up. So there's no way around it. You've got to give these guys a fair chance. You've got to speak with them. I did my best. I love speaking with my small investors, but there's just so many of them. So that was really the inspiration for MarketMind, is trying to create a solution for this really important challenge.
Hi, everyone. I am Manmeet Singh, co-founder and CTO of MarketMind. We are solving this problem by building a network of AI agents that simulate personalized one-on-one investor meetings. Today's AI agents can summarize and analyze the press releases and other publicly available information. But MarketMind takes a big leap forward. How? By telling investors what leadership actually means. This includes the insights on published filings, which typically is only available in live management meetings. The question is, how do we do that? We obtain this information by deploying a second chat agent that actually interviews the CEOs prior to the press releases. This actually automates the QA coaching done by expensive IR agencies based like real investor questions gathered on comparable situations by our AI agents. I have led machine learning, AI, and search teams at Apple, Instacart, and Adobe in Silicon Valley, and filed over 12 patents in this space. Using this experience and expertise, we are building a behavioral graph along with this whole system that captures the reasoning behind users' buy and sell decisions. Actually, the more our system operates, the better it gets at anticipating investor questions, so we can coach management on answering them before investor actually asks. What this will result in? This will help companies find highly qualified investor prospects from our investor database, and most importantly, adjust their messaging, personalizing it based on each investor's thought process.
Okay, so investor relations is no small market. Most people haven't even heard about it, but it's this gargantuan industry. It's $30 billion per year that public companies in North America collectively spend. And it's for good reasons, because it influences $40 trillion worth of public company assets. To say this is a large problem is no understatement. The way we're going to try to capture a slice of this $30 billion is by charging a monthly SaaS fee to public companies. That's obviously a fraction of the $500,000 to $1 million that each of them spend, to have chatbots placed on their websites. There'll be a link from every press release and every other company publication that'll basically take them to that link instead of calling an investor relations rep. And we'll charge upgrades as well. So we'll also be able to put the bots on a bunch of very popular financial research websites that we're making deals with right now. So that'll be an upgrade. We'll also charge flat fees for promotion programs, whether that be a proxy vote campaign or just an outreach program like an email blast to try to update or find new investors. And then we'll also mind the transcripts. Okay, we actually think that a pretty deep dive in real time on these transcripts can be a pretty interesting way of predicting stock prices. So we're going to sell that data as reports, and in keeping with our philosophy, making it available to large and small investors alike. So that's the three revenue streams. And we actually think it can grow. I mean, 30 billion is a big number, but this could also grow to crowdfund campaigns, digital asset communities, and so forth. So we've gone all out on team. We want to really try to get this bot on as many financial research platforms as possible. So we brought in current and past leadership from some of North America's largest investor relations and financial publishing sites. You can see the full bio on our website when you have a moment. And we are seeking $1 million in strategic capital. It's an opportunity for folks who work with public companies to be involved in an interesting way, strategically and financially. we'll use the money to finish pilot programs that we have on the go. So we're working on a pilot client basis with 4 public companies and 2 very prominent financial websites where people are already going for financial research. And then we're going to work to convert those into paying clients once these pilots come to completion. So, you know, when we're live, you can ask as many questions as you want, but I think we only have time for one right now. So.
Amazing. Thank you so much. All right, let's jump forward to your question, if you don't mind. Awesome. So where can investors use your chat agents?
So if you've ever read a press release for a public company, there's always this section at the end that says, you know, for more information, call this phone number or email this investor relations contact. So we're going to put a link there. Every company can put a link that goes to their website, and this bot will be placed on kind of the investor relations page that every public company has. That's kind of the base level service. There's also an upgrade where they'll be able to put these bots, as we mentioned, on some pretty popular places, you know, where people go to research stocks. And I should note the regulations for these 2 different categories of sites are very different, actually. So we've worked very closely with regulators in the U.S. As well as in Canada to make sure that this is fully compliant. Nobody's going to get in any trouble. And there's a whole host of sort of technical, legal, and workflow safety nets that will make sure it's fully compliant. And then finally, the reports, they're not going to be on websites, but they'll sort of be reports that people need to be paying clients to get. And that's where we can get the data.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I'll just grab the clicker. Perfect. Thanks. Okay. How are we feeling? Yeah? Awesome. All right. So now I'd love to introduce Ali, co-founder and CEO of Agent Noon. Agent Noon is an AI-enabled platform designed to drive organizational transformation. So Ali, please come on out.
So when I sold my last company, I learned a bunch of new things that I'd never imagined before. So like most people, I thought I would sell my company, sail off into the sunset, you know, not a worry in the world. Yet I found myself in conference rooms with arguments, all kinds of challenges, all kinds of data. Really, really hard to build alignment despite everyone's best intention. So like any good software engineer, what did I do? I built something to solve my problem. Turns out, other people had that problem too. Agent Noon is an intuitive, AI-native org design software that helps leadership teams figure out their workforce of the future in a very simple, fast, and accurate way. Think of it like if Figma and Workday had a child. This is what it looked like. So luckily, I was not the only one that had this problem. And since we've launched, we've grown orders of magnitude. I mean, in the last 18 months alone, we've grown 20x. I'm not a great salesperson. I'm a software engineer. So people are buying our product because they have a real hair on fire problem. And it's great. And when I ask them, why are you buying this? What does this do for you, right? Because it's clearly a non-obvious problem. They say 3 things. The first thing is, when you are at an inflection point inside a company, things are moving very, very quickly. So if you have a leader that you're in a meeting with and they say, hey, what if we put everybody in the same time zone in the same team? And you're like, great idea. Let me get back to you in 3 weeks. That's it. But if you can be like, great idea, bloop, 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 bloop. This is what it looks like. It helps the leader understand the consequences of their decision from a people, positions, and productivity perspective. So let's say you build alignment, then you have to start to do that work. You have to track it, and intelligently, as your data comes in, you have to adjust to it. So one large Fortune 500 company was told by their board that they had to restructure an entire function in 2 weeks. So what did they do? They called their favorite consulting firm, who said, it will take
at least 3 months to get done. Now, the problem is they didn't have 3 months. So using their own team, who had all the business context, and our technology, they were able to do it in 14 days. Finance approved, everybody aligned, lots of hard work for us, but at the end, it turned out to save them $150 million. Using this wedge, we believe that we can build an AI-native ERP. We can take out products like Workday, SAP, Oracle, because frankly, they're systems of record, which are great. But what we are building is a system of action. That's what executives want. That's what they want to pay the big bucks for, and we're doing it. So we have purpose-built AI. We've built it for speed. We've built it for flexibility because every single Fortune 500 company I've spoken to has assured me that the way they do things is completely different, and that's why only a consulting firm can understand their business. Well, I'll tell you what, software can do a lot of things too, especially AI-native software. And then proprietary data tools like our Data Foundry helps a Fortune 500 company go from 0 to hero in a day. And our users love our product. They use it too much, too often. When it breaks, they yell at us, they make a lot of noise, but they keep using it, and they keep telling their friends, which is why referrals is the #1 source of our business. And look, we have user champions, they love our product, and we just have to keep them happy. When they talk about us, they say we are the strategic translation layer between HR and finance. HR speaks French, finance speaks German. The business speaks some arcane language that they understand. But the bottom line is, in a company, everybody wants the same thing. They are just using different languages to describe it. We are the instant translation layer for that language. Both Dave and I have built and sold a company, as I started in the beginning of my talk. We're both engineers, and we love working together, and so do the people that work on our team. So our company is only 3 years old, but the average tenure of our employees is 5 years, because they were with us in the previous company, and then they jumped ship when we started a new one. We're also backed by Y Combinator, some of the best founders and investors in the world. We have 25 enterprise user champions today. We only need 60 more to get to 10 million in ARR. So our ask is very simple. You probably know a bunch of people in the Fortune 500 who do org design and transformation functions. Please introduce them to us, whether they work with in-house or external consultants. Doesn't matter. We're happy to work with everybody. My name is Ali Nawab. I am the CEO of Agent Noon. Thank you very much.
Awesome. That was amazing, and I love that, bringing harmony to your org. Okay, a question from the audience. Who are your stakeholders, and who do you sell to?
So we sell to the Fortune 500. We usually get in when there's an inflection point, like a reorg or an M&A or some kind of AI impact analysis. We get in, usually it's a CHRO that is the principal user of our product, and there's usually a business executive like a CFO or a COO that's also helping lead the transformation. So C-levels at Fortune 500, most importantly, the CHRO. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Grab the clicker, thanks. Okay, we are nearing the end. How's everyone doing? Are we ready for some drinks and some light bites? We got some good stuff for you. Alrighty, I want you all to give our next speaker a warm, warm, warm round of applause. This is Mathurin from Quanto joining us back on stage. Come on out. You got it.
Yeah, sorry about that last time. The nerve just kind of got to me there. So we're just gonna do it again. So we're Quanto. We help accounting firms scale by automating tedious and expensive workflows. Accounting firms struggle to grow due to a lack of talent. 75% of CPAs and bookkeepers are expected to retire in the next 5 years. And there's a steady 8% decline in accounting new grads year over year. We think we can change this. By helping accountants become more efficient, accounting firms can scale to support more clients while maintaining their headcount. But existing tools like QuickBooks and Xero are great for automating standard workflows, but hard and challenging to use for complex workflows. That's where Quanto comes in. We're the layer on top of your existing tech stack, and we allow accountants to flexibly automate workflows that require reasoning. We do this by mimicking the way accountants work. We read your SOPs, query your data to bring your context, and then use semantic reasoning to analyze the data. And this allows us to automate all these workflows, from pricing proposals to bulk cleanups. Typically, for a pricing proposal, an accountant will spend hours talking to clients, figuring out what their needs are, but then guesstimating how much actual effort it'll take the firm to support that client. And this process is time-consuming and also error-prone and hard to scale. With Quanto, the process becomes way simpler. All you have to do is just select your client, input a price range, and then hit submit. We take a bottoms-up approach where we actually analyze the data, looking at the volume of transaction data, and figuring out what features they use in QuickBooks to create an estimated price. Our agents will take over the workflow, pulling in all the relevant data needed, create artifacts that will then be used to track the work being done. The artifacts represent the raw data being pulled in, as well as the work and analysis being done on top of that. And as you can see, we have transaction volume, manual work costs and estimates, and then a final summary of what the suggested pricing should be. And finally, we get a price of $250 per month for this client. This process becomes fast and simple to do, and is less error-prone as LLMs take over a lot of the guesswork. And our traction has been strong. We currently have 3 paying accounting firms that bring us to 180K ARR. And then we have a wait list of 9 accounting firms that will bring us to 540K ARR. And we're hoping to reach 1 million by connecting with 20 accounting firms. I'm the technical co-founder, Modern, and my co-founder, Anderson, comes in with all the accounting expertise and also has a CPA. We're still growing, so if you know any accounting firms that have 5 or more employees, I'd love to connect. And if you're a software engineer in the Toronto area looking to join a high-growth startup that's in the accounting and finance space, hit me up. Thank you.
So good. Thank you so much. All right, if I could ask my amazing production team to flip back to the audience question. All right, if I can just grab the clicker. Thank you. Maybe actually my colleague can tell us what the audience question was. We don't have the right slides here. Oh, I got it. All right. Can you share with us some use cases and customer access stories from your platform?
Yeah, that's a great question. So accountants love to use a lot of different tools, and so there's a lot of tools they use for things like a monthly review and proposals. So we've actually been able to slowly replace a lot of these tools because of how flexible our platform are. So the ones that come to my head are Verify IQ, Zanet, and Ignition, which we kind of slowly replacing for them.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Amazing. Okay. And now for our final team, we have the wonderful Chris joining us from Alephas Care, COO and co-founder. We can just get the speaker notes updated. And we're live, right? Okay, awesome. So please give Chris a warm round of applause, COO and co-founder of Alephas Care.
Thank you, Iran. Very happy and excited to be here today to present Elephas Care. We're a technology purpose-built to prevent healthcare crises. I'm Chris Lehman, co-founder of Elephas Care. In 2017, my dad fell getting out of bed and lay on the floor for over 9 hours. He'd suffered a heart attack, but it was unclear whether that caused the fall or vice versa. He passed away 10 days later. If changes in his activity or vital signs had been detected earlier, intervention may have been possible. At the very least, no one should ever have to suffer on a cold floor for 9 hours. That experience is why we built Elephas Care, to prevent needless suffering through early detection and to bring dignity and safety to those who need it the most. Thank you. Falls and declining health are a harsh reality for seniors, especially those living with dementia. The global staffing crisis in healthcare is making it worse. The data is alarming. What's urgently needed is technology that helps caregivers do more with less. Elephas Care provides critical insights to caregivers, enabling higher quality care in less time. It detects indicators of illness before symptoms become acute. This supports early intervention to prevent falls, infections, pressure injuries, and other avoidable health events. How do we do this? Wall-mounted radar-based sensors transmit and receive signals off of every surface in a room. 2 sensors are placed in a typical senior living area, and 1 is placed in the washroom. AI interprets the signals and continuously determines the activity, heart rate, and respiration of the patient. What does this add up to for care providers? Incidents of falls, untreated infections, pressure injuries, and avoidable hospital visits are reduced by 50% or more. AI care plan recommendations save 7,000 hours a year per facility on average. We monitor healthy as well as acute care patients. Early detection prevents patients from becoming acute. Our model is an all-in monthly subscription with 0 capital costs. Reductions in care costs and labor savings provide an instant ROI. Our proprietary sensors avoid the reliability and security issues of Wi-Fi by using a purpose-built network. A single Ethernet cable provides both power and data for up to 4 sensors, reducing cost and complexity. No custom calibration of the sensors is required, and all patient data is stored securely on site. Our beachhead market is senior care, where there's an acute need. Our first customer is operational. We have patents and trade secrets today, along with a robust IP roadmap. We have sensor inventory on hand for our next 10 customers. We've raised $2.6 million to date, and we're currently raising a $3 million seed plus round. A strategic investor is already leading this round and is in late-stage due diligence. Beyond capital, they bring access to global distribution and reseller networks across senior care and healthcare. We are open to connecting with investors who may want to participate in this round or begin conversations in anticipation of a future Series A. Thank you all for your time. Please reach out if you have any questions or would like to discuss Elephas Care further, or come and meet me during the networking session. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, let's go to our final question from the audience. Here we go. There are existing technologies using computer vision or wearables with similar functionality. Why would a care home or hospital choose Elephas Care over these existing tech?
That's a great question, and it's one we get asked a lot. Computer vision or camera-based systems present obvious privacy issues for covering areas like bedrooms and washrooms, which is typically what a room in a care home consists of. By using non-visual technology, we can cover these areas in a completely privacy-preserving manner. Wearables present a number of issues. For one, there's an issue of stigma. My mother had also had a couple of falls, and our family wanted her to use a safety wearable. Her reaction was, those are for old people. She was 90 at the time. Senior skin also tends to be more delicate and sensitive, and a wearable can be irritating at best, painful at worst for some. Lastly, in a care home setting with hundreds of residents, wearables present a management nightmare. They must be worn and charged to be effective. Both can be challenged when you're talking about hundreds of devices and up to 70% of residents suffering from some form of cognitive decline. Elephas Care is completely autonomous. It requires no effort from staff or residents. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was awesome. Way to close us out. Okay, let's give one big final round of applause to all 14 of our incredible presentations. Right? That was so good. Everyone is building such incredible things. So that concludes our demo day. On behalf of myself, Alice, the Google team, the production team, and everyone else who made this possible, a sincere thank you to all of you for joining us today in person and virtually. Thank you to the 14 startups that joined our cohort this year. We love working with you all and can't wait to see what you do next. Congrats on an amazing demo day. Thanks to our volunteers, program speakers, mentors, many of them who are in this room, from inside and outside Google, who have lent their time to the program. And of course, a big thanks again to all of you for including us in your Toronto Tech Week plans. So a final ask from me, please engage with our programs, connect with our founders, and share and rewatch the demo day from today with your networks. You can scan the QR code to see our cohort lookbook and learn more about each company. And if you would like an intro to any of the companies you met today, of course, happy to introduce you outside in the networking session, or you can email our team at gfsa-ca-team@google.com. So, that's it. We're done. Thank you so much. We'll move into networking and happy hour now. Take care, everyone. Thank you.